Hello everyone, so in this video I'm just gonna go over the difference between GDN and search campaigns so that as you're managing your campaigns, this doesn't become a surprise to you. We already talked about some of these points in the past, but I just think it's important to revisit them. So GDN campaigns in general drive more clicks at a cheaper cost. Okay, so that's something for you to keep in mind. It's totally normal. Point number two, it takes more clicks to convert. Okay, so while a search campaign may take you 20 clicks to convert, a GDN campaign might take you about 50 to 100. All right, and that's normal. GDN campaign has a lower CTR, meaning people click on GDN ads way less than they click on search ads, which makes sense, right? When you're searching for something on Google, you're more likely to click on the ad than if you're surfing a website and you see a banner, right? People are not going to on websites necessarily to click on banners, but they'll click on the banner if the banner is interesting. But super normal to get a lower CTR on your ads. CTR meaning click through rate, right? It's basically how often your ad is displayed and how many times people click on it, right? So that's totally normal. And GDN can also drive more conversions at a lower cost per lead, right? So sometimes search will do better and sometimes GDN can do better from a cost per lead perspective. So it really varies. That's why you have to run both and see what's working for you. And GDN campaigns are harder to scale efficiently than search campaigns. And what I mean by that, if your account is limited by budget and it's doing well, sometimes when you increase the budget for GDN campaigns, you just see that your CPL, your cost per lead, will go up and you're not going to get that many extra conversions, okay? And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of variables in GDN campaigns, right? Maybe you increase the budget and now Google is showing your ads on a bunch of websites that are not converting. Maybe you increase the budget and now Google is giving more exposure to, let's say, mobile, and let's say hypothetically that mobile is not doing well. So there's all these things that could happen with GDN that makes it a little harder to scale efficiently. Again, it's just something to keep in mind. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. But now I'm going to show you some live examples between GDN and search, just so you can see how they perform. So here I have the campaign type, so you can see that these are display campaigns and these are search campaigns. So as you can see in this example, this is a GDN campaign and this is also a GDN campaign. So this GDN campaign is driving clicks at $1 and this one at $1.39. In search, this is a general campaign. It's driving, it has an $11 CPC. The CPC here is low for search because that's a brand campaign, right? So for brand campaign, we already talked about this. The clicks are usually much lower in cost. Now let's take a look at the conversion. So you see this GDN campaign here driving a good volume. Brand always driving a high volume as usual because we get a lot of conversions from brand for our clients because these are big clients, right? These are Fortune 500 clients. Some of them are public traded companies. They are worth billions of dollars, so they do have a brand recognition. Like in this example, we're looking at MIFA. So they do have a really strong brand here in Massachusetts. But let's look at the general campaign versus a prospecting campaign, okay, which is more apples to apples. So as you can see in this example, GDN driving twice as more conversions than the general campaign and at a much more efficient CPL, 248 versus 414. But if you look, the number of clicks that it took, 17,000 clicks, while search campaign only 1,184 clicks. So it takes way more clicks for a GDN campaign to convert, right? Super normal, but again, it doesn't matter because what we look at is the conversions. Is it converting and is it converting efficiently? In this scenario, GDN is doing well here, prospecting versus the general, right? And this GDN campaign is not doing well. It's a remarketing campaign. while brand is doing really well like it does for all our accounts. Now, if we look into this GDN campaign, I'll just show you the ad. Let's sort by the ad that's driving the most conversions here. That's the ad driving the most conversions, okay, for this particular product from MIFA. You run many different products for them. This is one that is doing really well for GDN, okay? Now let's take a look at UMass, the University of Massachusetts. So I have highlighted the search campaigns here, and these top four, as you can see, are all display campaigns. Now, this is a very unusual scenario where display totally takes over, right? So as you can see, the top two display campaigns, this one drove 5,000 leads. This one drove close to 4,000, while the search campaigns didn't do much, right? And had a much higher CPL. And in this campaign in particular, just literally killing it, right? So you have to keep in mind that this is a very unusual scenario, okay? But it could happen. So if in case it does happen for your account, just know that it's possible, okay? So let's take a look at the best performing ad inside this account. All right, just wanted to take this quick break here to let you know that if you need help managing your campaigns or just learning more about Google Ads in general, there's a link in the description below this video that you can click to book a time with me. Right? It doesn't matter if you're a specialist, if you're a business owner, if you're a director who wants to learn more about Google Ads so you can better manage your team or delegate to other agencies. We can talk about your goals and then see what are the best steps to take from there. All right, so there's a link in the description below, and hopefully we'll get to talk soon. Now let's get back to this lesson. So this drove over 3,000 conversions, and that's a responsive ad. Click on the assets here. And this is the responsive ad that drove over 3,000 conversions for GDN. Okay, now let's take a look at another account. And this is the ad that drove over 3,000 conversions for this particular GDN campaign. So click on the ad, and that's the University of Massachusetts landing page. Okay, so now let's take a look at another account. So here, let's sort by cost. Okay, so this is a GDN campaign, display, as you can see. Here's another display campaign. Here's another display campaign. So let's look at the performance, right? So usually, obviously, display driving way more clicks at a much cheaper cost. The CPCs here under $1. This one's $1.18 versus search having a CPC of $5, $8, $6.77. Totally normal. So let's take a look at the conversion. So this is a brand campaign, the first one. This one here is a brand campaign driving a lot of conversions at a very efficient cost. But look at these GDN campaigns, right? So this one drove a lot of leads, 607, more than the two general campaigns that we have here. And at a lower cost per lead, 124 versus 138 from search and 258 from this other search campaign. Now this other GDN campaign drove 374 leads at a $93 cost per lead, so much more efficient. All right, and again, that's why you have to run these things and see what does better. In this particular scenario, GDN did better than search, right, from efficiency standpoint. This particular GDN campaign actually being more efficient than the brand campaign, right? So as you can see, and the reason why the brand campaign CPL here is a little higher is because this is a law school and their brand name is also a term that people would bid on. So that's why in this particular scenario, their brand term is also competitive. But as you can see, GDN can also drive a lot of conversions in this scenario, aside from brand, doing a lot better than search. Now let's take a look inside the best converting GDN campaign. Let's take a look at the ads. All but removed. Sort by conversions. And this is the top performing ad. It's a GDN, it's a responsive ad. You click on it. And this is the top performing ad. So this is the responsive ad that's driving the most conversions for this campaign. Now let's take a look at Mass Housing. If you're in Massachusetts, you're probably familiar with this brand. They provide a lot of home loans for affordable housing. And here we have a search campaign. I'll just highlight the display campaigns. So when you look at it, this is a general campaign right here. So it drove over 2,000 conversions at $61. That's a search campaign. The GDN campaign drove 369 at $94, and this GDN campaign 214 at 101. And brand here obviously doing really well. It drove the most conversions at over 3,500 conversions at just $9, right? This is a brand campaign. So as you can see in this scenario, search did a lot better. It drove a lot more conversions, way more efficient, right, than the best GDN campaign. So if we just compare these two, see the top being a search campaign and this one being a display campaign, search did a lot better here in terms of volume and cost per lead. But anyway, that's the insight that I wanted to give you, that results will vary, okay, based on your industry and your website, the offers that you have on your website. That's why you have to run both and eventually see what performs best. But that's it. These are the things that you have to keep in mind when you run GDN versus search. That way you're not surprised by any of these stats. And I'll see you in the next lesson.
Hello everyone, I hope you have enjoyed this content and I hope you have learned something here today. And if you really enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, comment, leave your thoughts below, and share it with your friends, right? You don't have to share it publicly, you can just share it privately with people that you think may like this content. That's a way that you can show me that you really enjoyed it and that I'm doing the right thing, right? That I'm putting the right type of content out that are helping people better manage their Google Ads accounts. But I just wanted to take this time to thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care.